Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Jamie TV, where we do not pissy pants about. Today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new aggressive compressor from Calum Audio called Schlap. It's available for your desktop, it's available for Mac, and it's available for iOS, which is the version I'm going to be looking at today. It's Interapp Audio, it's AUV3, you can use it in standalone mode, and it's universal, so you can make a noise with it on your iPad or your iPhone. Cue iPhone music. If you're serious about recording music and you want to be able to mix it to a high standard, you're going to need a variety of different quality compressors in your toolkit, because they all have different features, they all bring something different to the table. For instance, some compressors are quite transparent and will not colour your sound in any way. Others, like Schlap, will bring some colour to your sound, but with Schlap, I believe it does it in a good way. It sounds like an old school, warm, analog rack mount compressor. It sounds like it has valves in it. Also, there are peak compressors and RMS compressors. Now, a peak compressor will respond to the strongest transients in your sound first and then squash the sound from there, whereas an RMS compressor like Schlap will respond to the overall volume of your signal, but you can set it so that some of the strongest transients will shine through so that you retain some dynamics to your sound. Also, Schlap has a sidechain function, which I'll show you in a bit, and also, as well as giving you standard compression, it will give you expansion and gate, it will give you infinite limiting, and also over compression. And I'm going to show you how all of that works. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to wind up this input level. The last thing you ever want to do is to be asking any kind of effects processor to be processing a pissy pants signal. So we're going to get these nice dancing pink lines high up the meter there. And if that should make your instrument a bit loud, you can always trim it back with the output here. If you want an actual indication in numerical terms of what the dB is, it's indicated down the side of the visualizer here. Now, looking at this absolutely gorgeous visualizer, the white peaks, that's the original signal. You can see the amount of compression applied in pink, and the gain reduction is indicated by the wobbly yellow line at the top. Coming back to the input, one thing that's really nice about this particular compressor is you can really overdrive the front end and achieve some saturation. And it sounds distorted in a good way, not in a sort of horrible, broken, messy kind of a way. Schlap's ratio control allows it to function as 4 different kinds of compressor. If you take the ratio down here anywhere between 0 and below number 1, then what you've got is expansion and gating. Let me just show you what that sounds like, because that can vary from compressor to compressor. We'll just bring the threshold up a bit more here, and we're going to need some output. Now, hear how jerky that is now. Now, the knee control allows us to smooth the sound around the gate. Okay, now let's move up to a more regular kind of compression sort of a setting. There, that's a more standard kind of a bass sort of a compression. Now, infinite limiting. Wow. Okay, and finally, let's have a look at some overcompression. Now, the overcompression settings here really do give you a chance to bring some extra character to an instrument. Now, of course, on iOS at the moment, none of the traditional digital audio workstations will allow you to set up an external sidechain facility. However, on the sidechain panel here, we do have a filter, which we can use for some sound shaping. Also, if you're using Schlap to compress a sound and it causes it to move across the stereo picture in a way that you don't like, just press in the stereo link button to stabilize it. And the auto gain button, just leave it on all the time. It just levels up your volume and makes everything one louder. So don't pissy pants about, just leave it switched on. Now let's go to AUM and we'll have a look at the sidechaining possibilities. Okay, so here we are in AUM with an 808 that doesn't seem to want to stop. It's like a typical bass player, really. Okay, so here we are in AUM with a little project I've just started, and I'm going to use this project to show you how the sidechaining functionality for Schlap works. So what we need to do is we need to scoot all the way back over here to the beginning of the project. Right, now you can see here is my 808 and here is Schlap added as an effect. Under the kick drum here, because I'm using the multi-bus out version of RuseMaker so that I could have just the kick drum on its own, so that I could send a signal to the 808 just when a kick drum happens. So what's happening is Schlap is just compressing the bass when it receives a signal from the kick drum. So that's connected here, right? Sidechain external. And the way this is set up, let me, in case anyone's never used this kind of functionality before, I'm going to close this and show you how you do it. So what we want to do is when a kick happens, we're not compressing the kick. What we're doing is sending that transient to this instance of Schlap. So we go here, we go to multibus audio unit instances, we add multibus Schlap, right? And that's automatically set up to go to here, right? Now that will send a signal every time a kick happens. It will send it to here, and then Schlap knows to compress the bass. So if I just solo the bass, I can't do that, I'm going to cut my mic off. Hang on. That was bad planning. Okay, right, I'm going to solo the 808. Now, if I take off Schlap, now we put it back in. If I also solo the kick, you can hear the bass is just kind of getting out of the way just enough for us to hear that kick nice and clearly. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. That is how you use the sidechain functionality for Schlap. So Schlap sounds great, it looks great, it's a lot more feature packed than it might first appear. This is a very useful compressor, so I say don't pissy pants about, go get it bought. If this video wasn't shit, then please give me a thumb up, make sure you've subscribed, ding my bell, check out all my links below the video. Be kind to each other, be good, take care of yourselves, make lots of music, and I'll see you in my next video. Oh, and don't piss pants about. Bye.